smile that makes the sun rise. You make it shine, but I can see that you don't realize, and that's what made me fall in love.
Hi guys, it's Katie, and if you are new to my channel, welcome! I make lots of videos about how to DIY things and how to take old clothing and upcycle it into new stuff. So if you are not subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button somewhere over here because it's free, and who doesn't love free things? So the original skirt that I purchased was between $1 to $3. I'm not sure the exact amount because I took the tag off of it and washed it, so I don't have the exact amount, but it's still pretty good for a skirt. And originally when I was making this tutorial, I wanted it to have a bow in the front, and I wanted it to have pockets, and I wanted all these things for it, and you'll see what actually happens. So let's get on with the tutorial. I found this striped skirt and I really liked the pattern on it. It's a little bit loose in the waist, but overall it fits pretty well. It also had these side pockets and opened on the side. To start this project, I'm going to measure around my waist. In my case, my waist is 47 inches or 120 centimeters. I'm then going to cut up one of the sides to make this into one giant piece of material. And I'm also going to cut around the pockets. Originally, I was trying to save the pockets, so that's why I'm cutting them out pretty delicately. So now I have one giant piece of material. I'm then going to cut the top of the waistband off because I'm going to have to make this part bigger anyway. And then I'm also going to cut off that other side pocket. To create the pattern for this skirt, it's going to be similar to how you would make a half circle skirt or how you would make a circle skirt. So basically we're going to take that original measurement of my waist, which was 47 inches, and then divide it by pi, which in my case gave me 14.9, which I'm going to round up to 15. So I'm going to go from the top and draw out an arc around 15 inches down. The length that I'm going for is 17 inches down. Make sure to account for how big of a waistband you want it to be because that's going to add some length to your skirt. So I'm going to take my first measurement of 15 inches and add it to 17, and I'm going to get 31.9 or round it up to 32 inches. Now for the fun part. This material doesn't actually fit this pattern. So I sat there and played with how would I make sure that I got the material in the correct way so that the stripes would not be going all kinds of crazy directions. If your material doesn't have a pattern or doesn't have a stripe pattern, you could probably get away with using the pattern the most effective way, but I sat there going, wait, these stripes would be going in diagonals, that would not be flattering. So I ended up fitting it in a way that would give the front part of the skirt a curve. And then added some of the extra material onto the part that didn't really fit. So in this case, I'm ripping out that bottom seam to make the material fit to the size of a triangle that I am missing. Make sure to also leave seam allowance. So then I'm gonna pin this section to it and then sew it down. And then I'm also going to sew all of the raw edges down. For the top of the waistband, I'm taking the leftover material that was on the bottom of the skirt, and I'm going to make the waistband basically out of whatever fits within this material constraint. So whether I had wanted to do a 2-inch or a 4-inch waistband didn't really matter. What only mattered was how much waistband material I could make, because I only had about 5 inches of material left to work with. Since the bottom of the skirt had a thick hem, which was double-sided, I decided to leave that intact and just make the double-sided piece and it the same width. So for all of the raw edges, I'm going to fold them over and sew them down using a straight stitch. And then I'm going to just add the waistband onto it. I'm leaving a little bit of extra at the end because I wanted to add the button and buttonhole, which you will see later does not actually happen, but that was the intent behind why there's a little bit extra left. And then I'm going to just use a straight stitch and iron everything down crisp and flat.
Cause you got style, the way your body makes my heart beat sound. It's amazing all the time. You are the only thing I need in life. Oh, I want you. Can't you see? I want you. I believe, 'cause I want you here with me. I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go crazy.
It wraps pretty far around, and what I normally do is I just safety pin it here and here, and that way it stays up and it kind of stays in place, and it's got the cool swooshing here. So that is all I have for the actual tutorial. I'll give you a little bit of background. When I was making this, I really wanted it to have a bow right here that came across, but because the skirt was small to begin with, it actually didn't have a lot of material left over. So even though I wanted to make a bow out of the scraps, this was all that was left. So this around my waist would not actually make a bow of any sort, and if it did, it would not be lined, so it would be really flimsy, so it would definitely not work. And then for the pocket parts, I really wanted to add pockets to the sides of this, which I could still go back and do later, but if you guys have been following along, you know I tend to be kind of a procrastinator, and I needed this skirt done because I was going to an event in DC and it wasn't finished, and at like 5 a.m. I was sewing it together and I was like, no pockets for this. No pockets are happening. So that's why it does not have pockets, but it could. And then another thing, I did sort of cheat a little bit. This is not actually attached with anything of consequence. It's literally attached with a safety pin because I hate sewing buttonholes on. But something that I should have done, I cut off these two pieces, which were part of the pocket area, and this one obviously has the buttonhole in it and is nicely finished. So honestly, if I had just left this darn piece attached to the original skirt part, I could have just put that there and kept it going, and then I would have had like a button here and it would have looked really cute, because I actually really like the way the button part looks here. So it could have looked like that and looked really cute. But instead it doesn't have a button, which is something that I could go back and add later, but I'm probably not because it works just fine with a safety pin. I normally actually safety pin it in both places because this is a wrap skirt, so that makes it easier to wrap. So this skirt ended up being super easy to make, and I absolutely love the way it turned out, and I have worn it on multiple occasions because I'm like, I love this skirt. It's so much better than the one before, which was just kind of hanging off me and was doing absolutely nothing for my figure, and this one is very cute, and I'm excited to continue wearing it and add it into my actual wardrobe. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!